Alright, well. You and you, come on back. If I swing in with 3 creatures here, we're dealing 3 damage plus 3 damage, so we're dealing 6. We're healing 3, we're going back up to 19. I think that's a fine play. What's up everybody, my name's Chance, and today we're hopping into a Golgari Can't Touch This, or rather Deathtouch deck, so you don't want to touch this deck. And we did this deck, sorta, whenever Vraska Swarm's Eminence came out, so this was like a year ago maybe. And y'all really seem to love the whole Deathtouch Tribal thing, and now that we've got a little bit more support for Deathtouch Tribal and Hooded Blightfang and some other ones, you know, I figured let's go back and revisit this deck. I had somebody submit a deck to me and say, hey Chance, you know, try this out. It's been super fun and it's actually been winning for me. So that's what we're going to be diving into today. Now before we go and hop into the deck tech or deck breakdown fully, I'd like to remind you all, if you enjoy the damn it. If you're enjoying the content, please be sure to watch all the way through, get the pro tips, get the deck tech wrap up at the end, get all the information you can, really absorb it, right? Now on into the deck. What does it do? What is Hooded Blightfang and why is it so fucking amazing, basically? So 3 mana for a 1/4 Deathtouch snake, and it reads, whenever a creature you control with Deathtouch attacks, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Whenever a creature you control with Deathtouch deals damage to a planeswalker, destroy that planeswalker, which a lot of people are in agreement that that bottom statement should just be how Deathtouch works in general. So I mean, I guess it's kind of cool that they're finally kind of submitting to that idea or whatever. But the really nice thing is it kind of works like a Revenge of Ravens, except it's for when you attack, right? It's not when your opponent attacks you, it's when you attack your opponent. So a bit different, but very, very awesome all the same. Now, surrounding Hooded Blightfang, we have a few other, I won't say completely new cards, but kind of new cards, in being Chevill. You know, it came from Ikoria, Deathtouch. Chevill is one of those cards that I really wish I could have played more of, and I'm sure he's great as a commander, but nonetheless, at the beginning of your upkeep, if your opponents control no permanents, so, you know, no lands or whatever, with bounty counters on them, put a permanent counter on target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls. Whenever a permanent an opponent controls with a bounty counter on it dies, you gain 3 life and draw a card. So, pretty strong effect, right? Gaining 3 life and drawing a card while also having a 1/3 Deathtoucher down. Yeah, sure, sign me up. And another beautiful thing is Chevill is, well, rotation proof. He's gonna stick around for quite a while. So the one of the other new cards from M21, and I should mention, even though it is more of a spice to the deck than an actual card itself, is Heroic Intervention. This is going to keep your Deathtouchers alive, and y'all know one problem that Deathtouchers have is they tend to be a little bit weaker, right? 1/1, 1/1, 1/3, 2/3. You know, they don't have the strongest power because, well, they have Deathtouch. This makes it to where you can trade out, you can swing in, you know, defend, whatever. Keep your Deathtouchers, kill your opponent's creatures, have a board state left over, and again, you're dealing damage every time you swing in. So swinging in and getting rid of your opponent's creatures, you're dealing damage, you're removing their creatures, and come next turn, you're gonna have a clear board with which you can swing back in, right? So that's kind of the idea behind the Heroic Intervention there. Now, surrounding the Hooded Blightfang and Heroic and Chevill, the rest of the deck is very, very much built up off of, well, you guessed it, Deathtouch. So, down here in the bottom end, we have Foulmere Knight, which is a 1/1 Deathtoucher that also allows you to draw a card. So again, for a 1 mana card, this is actually really, really awesome because you don't mind drawing this late because you're getting card draw out of it plus a creature. Vampire of the Dire Moon is an excellent tiny drop that works very, very well with Vraska Swarm Eminence. So, I'm going to hop over here and then we'll hop back and whatever. So, Vraska Swarm Eminence, her passive ability reads, whenever a creature you control with Deathtouch deals damage to a player or planeswalker, put a +1/+1 counter on that creature. Obviously, if you have something like Vampire of the Dire Moon that has Deathtouch and lifelink, every time it deals damage, it's also healing you and getting bigger and able to heal you more and deal more damage. And so it's sort of this back and forth thing where it just gets better and better and better and has more and more value. Moon is down, we have Shadow Spear because the trample is kind of nice. 2, the ability to make your opponent's permanents lose indestructible is key here. If you read Deathtouch, it says any amount of damage a source with Deathtouch deals to a creature is enough to destroy it. Well, indestructible means that things can't be destroyed, so you're going to want some way around that. Having to pay 1 mana to get this down and then another 1 mana to take away their indestructible, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Ram Through, this card, oh, it's so beautiful. For it to be a common, it is so beautiful. 2 mana instant speed, target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. If that creature has trample, it deals the excess damage to your opponent's face instead. Now the nice thing is Shadow Spear kind of works with Ram Through and the trample, but what you're really looking for here is just the instant kill, right? The instant give of your opponent's creatures, because Deathtouch does work with this. You know, if you use this on Chevill and your opponent has a Rotting Regisaur down, it's still going to kill it. Even though it's only dealing 1 damage, it's dealing that Deathtouch ability as well, right? So Ram Through, it's an instant speed Rapid Bite. It is so good. If you're one of those people that's like, no, I'll just keep using Rapid Bite, trust me. Use your commons, use 4, pick up this card. It is beautiful, and it's rotation proof. Anyways, moving us along, we have Call the Death Dweller. You have these Deathtouchers, and you're not always going to have their heroic intervention, or you may not always want to play it, whatever. But you're going to be swinging in, you know, again and again and again, because you want the proc, you want the activation of your Hooded Blightfang. And one of the nicest things about Hooded Blightfang is it's not a legendary creature, so you can have multiple Hooded Blightfangs down, and if you're swinging in with all your creatures plus your Hooded Blightfangs, then you're dealing 2 times the amount of damage per creature swinging in. That alone is going to add up to a lot of damage, you know, not to mention your creatures actually hitting. However, your opponent's not going to allow that to happen. They're not going to take all the damage from the Hooded Blightfang's ability proc and let your creatures just smash face. So Call the Death Dweller is great for allowing you to trade with your creatures, with your opponents, and then bring your creatures back, have that board state without really having lost too much. So, Mythos of Nethroi is some pretty good removal. I think there are some better options, sort of. The nice thing about Mythos of Nethroi is it works well with the Leyline Prowler in allowing you to destroy any non-land permanent, which, let's be real, there's a lot of annoying non-land permanents, artifacts, enchantments, planeswalkers, and creatures in general. So Mythos of Nethroi is good. You know, we'll get into it at the deck tech wrap up on other cards that I think you can play if you don't want to play this rare murder, basically, because that's what it turns into sometimes, and that feels a little bad. But when it does pop off, obviously it feels very good. Speaking of Leyline Prowler, this was one of the main cards in our previous version of the Deathtouch deck, and so it holds a special little place in my heart. 3 mana for a 2/3 with Deathtouch, lifelink, and it can tap and add 1 mana of any color, which again helps you with the Mythos, or helps you ramp into this slightly higher end. I don't know. 4 mana is the top end for this deck, because again, we're trying to stay low to the ground with Hooded Blightfang and swing in, you know, with all of our creatures, and then focus on getting those creatures back or giving them indestructible so we don't lose them in the first place. Next up, we have Gem Razor, which works wonders with the Ram Through that we already have, as well as making these Deathtouch creatures like actual bodies to be afraid of, right? A 1/1 Deathtoucher, whatever. But a 4/4 Deathtoucher with Reach and Trample? That's crazy. You better look out, opponent. Speaking of a 4/4 Deathtoucher, good old Questing Beast. It has Vigilance, Deathtouch, Hates. Oh, and Gem Razor is also real good at removing your opponent's artifacts and enchantments. That was the main reason of putting him in. But, you know, the fact that you get a 4/4 with Reach and Trample is certainly nothing to be looked over, right? Anyways, Questing Beast, Vigilance, Deathtouch, Haste. It's everything you want. It can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. Combat damage that's dealt by creatures you control. I was trying to read here. By creatures you control can't be prevented, so you know your opponents can't somehow give themselves indestructible. Is that a possibility? Anyways, which is really nice, given you know your opponent may use a heroic intervention on their creatures. Questing Beast allows you to essentially destroy them through that, right? Sorta. Again, it's only combat damage, so you have to make sure that you're actually dealing enough to kill them, because Deathtouch won't, right? Anyways, whenever Questing Beast deals combat damage to a player, to an opponent, it deals that much damage to target planeswalker that player controls as well. So it's great removal for those Teferis or Narsets or whatever you may be facing, right? Next up, we have Vraska of 2 kinds, right? We have Vraska, Golgari Queen, who's able to come down, remove your opponent's stuff. She can give you an emblem, which essentially allows you to win the game, and she can allow you to sacrifice permanents, draw cards, gain life, which is kind of cool given you have these lower cards like Falmir Knight and Vampire of the Dire Moon that you may not really mind sacrificing that much, and you can get them back very easily with Call the Deathwiller. So, you know, I go back and forth on it. But Vraska Golgari Queen, I think she's fun, and she is sort of the Deathtouch Queen, and so just based off thematics, right, of the theme of the deck, Vraska Golgari Queen belongs here. This is her home, right? And then Vraska Swarm Eminence, we kind of already touched on her, but the -2 ability, create a 1/1 black assassin creature token with Deathtouch, and whenever this creature deals damage to a planeswalker, destroy that planeswalker. So again, you're seeing that ability. I think Wizards is warming up to the idea of giving all Deathtouchers this ability, but you know, they might be a little afraid given they had War of the Spark, which was very planeswalker eccentric. It's kind of like they're, you know, they'd be fighting themselves, which would make sense, but I don't want to dive into all that. What I do want to dive into, though, is the matches. So without further ado, let's hop right into it.
Yo, I haven't had a milkshake in years. That's kind of sad. Milkshakes are delicious. Would love to see Buried Alive come into Standard. Buried Alive. Why we got so many Vampire of the Dire Moons? Is that the... No, that's Burial Rites that I'm thinking about. I'm not sure what Buried Alive is. Huge in current meta. Graveyard interaction is all over the place. Yeah. There is a crap ton of graveyard interaction. We just go for the Chevill here? The shovel? Or do we save up till we can Heroic Intervention with him down? Since our opponent's showing obvious signs of... Yeah, I mean, we could Heroic Intervention for the one tiny little vampire. I don't think that's worth it, though. But it does leave me a way for Chevill to come on down. Oh yeah, I need to get the the MTG bot in chat. For sure. Alright, well, what are we doing here? Like, am I actually saving that Heroic Intervention? I think so. Search your library for 3 creatures and put them into the graveyard at sorcery speed. That's interesting. 3 mana, put 3 creatures into your graveyard. Yeah, that could be cool. Inspiring Veteran. I guess I could have guessed from the tournament grounds this was a Knight's deck, but... Light up the stage. Well, not gonna lie, Jungle Hollow, not exactly what we want to see. We gotta have enough mana for the Heroic Intervention, given we know they're gonna play Banishing Light. Alright, so they grab white mana here. Yep. And then Banishing Light. Yep. And Resolve. Yep. We gotta take out that Sky Knight Legionnaire. Hey, perfect. Perfection. I really do like Chevill. I wish there was a better deck with him in it for sure. Still only have one of those over there. Alright, well, let's get down Vampire of the Dire Moon. We'll swing in with our other 2 creatures. I would like to see a Hooded Blightfang as well. Or, I mean, hell, even getting down Vraska Swarm Eminence would be really good for us, right? Given we have the Vampire of the Dire Moons and Chevill. Yo, bitch, how many of these Banishing Lights you got? Fuck. Opponent, stop it with your pog-ass draws. Alright, well, you're gonna make me decide then, game, huh? Because I definitely want to get the Chevill and we can get back the other Vampire of the Dire Moon, right? No? Did they exile? That's right, they Banishing Lighted it. Banishing Lit it? I don't know. Hooded Blightfang, though, I feel like you're fine to come on down. You can block against the Fervent, you give us extra life, you deal extra damage. All in all, I think you're a pretty cool snake, and I don't fuck with snakes, honestly. Not exactly my favorite creature in the world. You know? Because here's the thing with snakes. They're lumped into the same category as spiders for me. You know? I don't fuck with spiders. I don't fuck with anything that could potentially bite and kill me. Thing is, though, most spiders I'm going to interact with here in Georgia, I'm bigger than. You know? I can just smash with my shoe. However, snakes, you can't just smash with a shoe. They'll get hella pissed and bite you. And I live in Georgia, so rattlesnakes, that's a very, very real thing here, right? Very real. Any hoosers, we're gonna get down Vraska. There we go. I gotta say, I enjoyed them doing the different rarity planeswalkers. I don't think planeswalkers should always be mythic, especially like the fucking 4-mana Liliana. I don't think you should be costing people mythic wildcards for that card. So I gotta say, I really enjoyed that from War of the Spark. I just think that maybe they shouldn't have dropped like 40 or 50 planeswalkers, you know? Obviously that's a bit of exaggeration, but you get what I'm saying. Blocking with Fervent, I get. Blocking with Ox, like, do you even have enough cards in your graveyard? 4? You need to exile 8. Are you doing the math correctly on that? Fight is 1. I guess so. I guess you're doing the math correctly on that one, huh? This is such a weird deck from the opponent. They're doing like Knights, but they also have Ox. They have Banishing Light. It feels like a budget Boros aggro Knights deck. I don't know. It's weird. This has to attack each combat, right? No, it doesn't. Maybe I'm thinking of the other smaller creature. Any hoosers, another Hooded Blightfang would be nice. I don't know that I just want to bring back 2 Vampire of the Dark Moons with my Call of the Death Dweller. Let's see, this costs 3, which means I can't do that unless I shock this. I'm fine with shocking this. And we'll just hit and see what we have here. Another Chevill. Yeah, you know what? Give me down the shovel. We'll go digging. We will go digging. Don't swing in, Assassin. What are you, crazy? You're just marching to your death. There's a Fervent Champion on their side of the board, you goofball. Hey! Airheadist. Or Airhead First. Whatever your name is. I don't appreciate the fire prophecies, okay? We can talk this out. It doesn't have to resort to sorcery speed removal. Alright? Shit. I got so much chat to read. Victimized with another good one. Mythos of Brokos does 1, but man, not as good. Mythos of Brokos, that was the Mardu Mythos, wasn't it? That one wasn't good. Our opponent's got what, like some weird, crazy protect their shit here, right? In which case, we just let this shit go. Yeah. Whatever spice you're bringing, I don't care. Alright, well, you and you, come on back. By swinging with 3 creatures here, we're dealing 3 damage, plus 3 damage, so we're dealing 6. We're healing 3, we're going back up to 19. I think that's a fine play. Carrion Grub plus Buried Alive plus the highest power creature in the format. Oh yeah, that does sound spicy. Play Chevill and EDH is pretty fun and interesting. I mean, yeah, Chevill was one of those cards that I was like, you know, I want to see a standard constructed deck with this card. 2 mana for the potential, add a lot of value. It just excites me. Yep, so 4 times the big IKO cycle stompy equals turn 4, 11 trample. Yeah. Hey, Airheadist. They'd seen enough. They said, how did this happen? I'm the aggro deck, and I'm at 4 life, and you're at 19. I don't even understand the math behind that. Keeler. Or Keller? Yeah, it's probably Keeler. Or it might even meant to be pronounced Killer, but I doubt it. Alright, 2-land hand. It's fucked us so many times before. We'll keep it, though, because I hate mulliganing down to 6. Honestly, just feels like hot garbage to me. Mulliganing in general. I hate it. Alpine Houndmaster. So you're playing the Boros aggro doggos. I can respect that. I can respect it. I don't love it. I don't love what I'm seeing, you know, but I can respect it in the very least. And besides, we have the ram through and the rabbit bite, so we'll be okay. Alpine Watchdog coming on down. Hey, that Fabled Passage will be beautiful next turn. Do I go ahead and get down a Leyline Prowler? Or do I just go for the ram through on the Alpine Houndmaster? We know they're going to be swinging it with the Alpine Houndmaster. They have 1 mana with which they could actually protect it here. We'll see. I feel like it was a particularly an argument rather than stating one's opinion. Yeah, that's what I mean, Mac. Like, we had a discussion about it. I was saying, like, in order to prevent an argument, I would rather just, like, leave it there, you know? Like, either which way, it doesn't matter, you know? It is the way it is, and that's just how the game is, and so we'll move on. But yeah, I understand. Yeah, we were just both saying our sides of the stuff. Chronic Lantern. You got that right. I'll sometimes take my decks into bot match and just mulligan the deck to nothing. Give the deck a good shuffle. You know, that's not a bad idea. Just fuck with the shuffler for a little bit. Go play a bot match and some of that stuff. I might start trying that out. It might make me feel a little bit more level coming into matches. You know what I mean? Oh, of course you know what I mean. You do it already. So we could call the Death Dweller and bring back this Vampire of the Dire Moon. I'm not a huge fan of that personally. So instead, we'll probably just Leyline, take out the Alpine Watchdog, gain up some life. They do still have Chandra Heart of Fire, which... Does Chandra Heart of Fire get played in that deck, or are they just being kooky? Either way, I enjoy it. I do enjoy it. Alright, so we can't really do anything here. I could swing in at their Chandra. But yeah, why would I not? Hold up. Why would I not swing in at their Chandra? To keep a defender when I have 22 life? Fuck no. You're going to double block me. I'm going to use Heroic Intervention. I'm going to kill both your shits. Both your Shih Tzus. Now let me assign the damage. Thank you. Sometimes Magic does this kooky little thing where it doesn't actually allow you to assign the damage and just assigns all of your damage into the front creature. Which I think is a little weird. More pups? Hey, fine by me. Fine by me. Bolt Hound. Whoa. Now what? Do you Chandra and just hit me in the face? You know? Get in for a solid 4 damage? Probably. Well, swing in if you're swinging. We don't have all day. I do like that, the little pew. You know what I'm talking about, the little curve on the Chandra thing. All right, get in there, Leyline. What are you doing? You can't let that Chandra use her ulti. Are you crazy? So how do you block this? Do you send both your pups once again and hope that I don't have another heroic intervention, which I do? No, you just take it. You take it on the chin. You take it on the chin. Ah, if I had one more. I just want to have heroic intervention up if I go to play the Vraska. Of course, I could play the Vraska minus take out the Bolt Hound. We know the Chandra kill our Vraska, which at least takes some heat off of our face, takes out the creature. They're down to 2 cards in hand. You know, there's something to be said about that. And the something to be said is that I want to do that.
The day is yours.
Unless, of course, they get down another Bolt Hound, in which case they can just take that to Vraska. No, they're going to use Chandra. Okay. I'm pretty good at calling what the opponent does, huh? Of course, I guess you play over 1,000 matches of Magic. You kind of get good at that stuff. Selfless Savior. You know, I gotta say, I was kind of excited for Selfless Savior when it first popped, but it's feeling very meh kind of now, to me, personally. I'm a little curious as to why. I think I like the idea of just taking out the Chandra outright. Like, I could just take out the Selfless Savior and swing at the Chandra, but I think I'd rather just take her out. Take her out to the ballpark, you know what I mean? Show the lady a nice time. Let's say, let me make sure this can't protect planeswalkers, right? Get out of town, Chandra. Get out of town. We still only have that Vampire of the Diamond. Well, I'm not using a Call of the Death Dweller on a Vampire of the Diamond. I'm sorry. No way, no how. You can't convince me. And besides, we still have mana for heroic intervention, so like, the mana is not necessarily wasted. Pack leader. Oof. That's not good for us. Certainly not good for us. I'm not fond of Mulligan either, but I much prefer the London Mulligan we have now to the bullshit it used to be. Oh yes, for sure. Like, don't get me wrong. I love this new system as opposed to the old one. I just still don't like the idea of having the Mulligan in a card game. But I guess that's what Magic is all about, right? It's essentially poker with art. And that I will seriously argue with people on. It is poker with art. But that's only because I feel so strongly about that, you know? And I'm also, I'm one of those crazy cuckoo people that believes that, and obviously this isn't go for anyone, but I'm one of those crazy kooky people that believe that almost anyone in the entire world, given the amount of time put in, can be #1 on Magic. Because the deck building isn't what makes you good at Magic anymore. It's not. You have the internet. You don't have to be good at deck building. This is a little curious. Oh yeah, they prevent all combat damage anyway, so never mind. It's not nearly as curious as I was thinking. This is why you don't complain about lands, folks. This is why you don't do it. So we literally can't get rid of their pack leader. We can't do anything. Oh yeah, let me go back to what I was talking about though, so people aren't like, oh Chance, you're such a dick, because people will do that. I don't mean it doesn't take skill to be good at Magic. You know, I'm not saying that the top players aren't skillful at Magic and skillful at deciding what they want to do or skillful at deck building. I'm simply saying you don't have to be skillful at deck building at all. You know, 9 times out of 10 when we get to these Mythic Championships, you see a deck that was built in the first 3 weeks of a set being out, and then the only thing that's changed is the sideboard or 1 or 2 main board cards for the meta appeal, right? So I don't think deck building is like, ooh, it's some nuance. Terrorists gonna be our next foe. Oh yeah, sorry, Call. I know. I still gotta figure out a way to set that up. You know, the whole deck thing, because it's difficult for me to do it on Aether Hub given. Oh shit. I accidentally just opened my video editor, but it's difficult for me to do on Aether Hub because I've recently come to find out. I'm gonna go aggro. But I've recently come to find out that the way that Aether Hub works with the YouTube videos and the content creator stuff is that was annoying, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. But the way that Aether Hub works is if I upload my decks on there a day early and then I go back and put the YouTube video on there the next day, it won't appear on the Aether Hub front page, which isn't that big of a deal. But to me, I'm one of those people that's like, I'm an all or nothing person, right? So like I want the entire thing to be efficient or none of it. Oh, look at you using Liliana's Triumph, playing right into our play there. That's cute. That's really cute. No, there's totally good and evil in Mortal Kombat lore. Raiden and Earth Defenders versus whichever. Yeah, I was mostly talking about Armageddon. I don't know how good and evil that one's focused, but I also played these games when I was like a lot younger, so. Hell, I don't know what to play here. Our opponent's got this weird, like,
I'm good at what I do.
mono black planeswalker sort of deck going on. I don't know. It's fine. We're gaining counters though on the Chevill and on the Vampire. That's lovely. But yeah, I know in the movies Mortal Kombat has good and evil and Raiden and Shao Kahn or Shang Tsung, you know. But I was mostly talking about the Armageddon one where you got the big old fire beast at the top, and in the opening scene it's literally just like every Mortal Kombat character running up the fucking whatchamacallit. You know what we're gonna do here? I'm sure you do. Oh, terrorists, come back! Were you not having fun? Scroob Wolf, gonna be our next foe. But that's also why I don't focus on being competitive, because if you want my personal opinion, I think that you pretty much run out of competitive material if you're not streaming, right? Otherwise, you're posting the same deck, in my personal opinion. But some people like to go competitive with their jank deck, but I say as soon as a jank deck becomes competitive, it's not jank, right? So like, there's that whole back and forth people love to have. I could have used Rabid Bite here to take out something, but they're playing Lordus Aristocrats. We know they have some stupid shit up their sleeves, right? We know they're gonna be bringing creatures back or corpse knighting. Yeah, there's just higher value targets for us, right? Hooded Blightfang though, I am super happy to see it. You know, we threw a million into the deck, so to see one does make me happy. We are gonna immediately take out the corpse knight. I'm not trying to get drained just here and there and everywhere, and we'll call it all good. I really love the art for Hooded Blightfang. Fiend Artisan. We can swing in against a Feeding Artisan. We want that thing to die. Still want to keep defenders back in case, you know. But we can definitely swing against the Fiend Artisan because there's no way that they're going to use that to block our Deathtoucher, right? Now they may immediately remove our Hooded Blightfang here as well. It's probably in their benefit. No, just going for the Lordus, huh? By the way, that's such a risky play. Not up against my deck, obviously, but it's such a risky play to put your companion in your hand and not cast it. Right? What we could do here is swing all in, and I could use Heroic Intervention. That's kind of cool. That's a neat little idea. I say we do it. I say we go for it. Right? We're getting to gain 3 life either which way. If we get to take out some of their creatures, all the better. So that doesn't really count. That's fine. And then the other one, okay. Cool, whatever. We'll slim the board up a little bit. Now, they do still have a Lordus, which means obviously these creatures can come right back. You can't over-concern yourself with what your opponent has, right? You have to play to the best of your ability and try to get through that way. Now, there is something to be said for getting down a Leyline Prowler and then being able to have access to the Vraska, given we knew that their Lordus was, well, had the potential of coming back this turn, right? I think you want Menace on the Fiend Artisan. I don't think you want it on the Corpse Knight. I also think you want Deathtouch on either your Serrated Scorpion or your Lifelinker. Okay, well, since they just sacrificed their Lifelinker, probably a Serrated, right? Priest! Oh no! Whatever shall we do? Not draw a land, that's for sure. 3 out of the top 14 cards once again. Love to see it. You absolutely love to see it. That's okay. We have Leyline Prowlers in the deck. We can get there. And even if they do make a sacrifice here, they're sacrificing what? Their Fiend Artisan and the Corpse Knight? No. Fuck no, you're not. They could get down a Lordus plus something from their graveyard. Or play everything in hand. Hey, yeah, cool beans. That works too. That works too. So we're finally up to 4 mana. Our opponent's at 7. You know, things are wacky here, and it's not like they're playing a ramp deck either. So them having 7 mana is like 7 turns have gone by, and we've got 3 lands. That is one nice thing about best of 3, at least. You don't have to worry so much about the shuffler. You're not like, okay, cool. Somebody just hates fun. I don't think that really made any sense for them to sacrifice a priest for a Fiend Artisan that doesn't have haste and is not swinging in on the current turn, nor can they tap and activate it. Like, sure, you can play your priest back with Lordus, but you're also assuming that your priest will come back with Lordus and then not just immediately die once more. So we could get back 2 Vampire of the Dire Moons, but we're also at 4 mana, which makes me want to play Vraska, right? And then just murder their Lordus, and we still have 2 Deathtouchers with which to block their Fiend Artisans. Well, realistically 1. But yeah, I think that's fine. Come on down, Vraska. Show them what you're made of. Show them what you're made of.
Golgari now. Step aside or be crushed.
Step aside or be crushed, she says. Alright, so what does our opponent do? Swing in with a Fiend Artisan at our Vraska and swing everything else? Looking for a Lordus? No. What? I don't understand the opponent's like course of actions here. Gotta love DT, Vraska the Pup Killer. Yeah, you really do gotta love some Deathtouch. Yo, where the fuck are my lands? 16 cards? I've gotten 3. This is the 3rd time this has happened, by the way. So, lucky number 3, woo! Shit, game. Give me the cards. Yeah, I don't even know what to fucking do here. Alright. I guess the only thing we can do, look for a fucking land, right? Let's get back these Vampire of the Dire Moons. It doesn't matter which one gets the Deathtouch. It doesn't matter which one gets the Menace.
Its loss will
Ram through. Well, that's some good stuff. That's some spicy stuff. Unfortunately, we still can't swing in, which means we're just dying to these Cruel Celebrants. RNGs just ram through. Yeah. So you know cards that prevent damage from being prevented are Bone Crusher Giant and QB. Yeah. I'm not playing Bone Crusher Giant. I know I have a questing beast, but I don't. Oh, you were saying that on when they did their thing, right? Hey, a land. 18 cards. We hit 4 lands, 5 lands. Oh man, we're about to get flooded. Nope, can't do it. I know I just sat here and bitched about a land for like literally 3 minutes straight, but if we take that land, we will get flooded. Mark my words. Mark them. They just sacrificed. Oh yeah, of course they did, because they have fucking 4 Cruel Celebrants. What are you doing, you twat? Okay. We're taking so much damage just from these Cruel Celebrants. Now, I can ram through plus Vraska to take out 2 of them, but we're still going so fucking low. Yes. That is what you want to do.
Don't be surprised if we meet again.
Alright, 4 more. That's 3 more. Sorry, I don't know how to count. We're staying in there, but barely, you know. When we get chopped at the knees every game, it's a little hard. It's actually very, very difficult for us to keep up with the opponent. God, and their strategy is actually just annoying. Alright, you know what, Scroob Wolf, you got it! I actually don't like the Leyline Prowler that much, but the fact that it has Deathtouch, the fact that it has Lifelink is kind of nice, so. Why does a Scorpion plus Zombie Token Generator? Yeah. Here's the thing. I've been thinking about what's that fucking card? There's a card that came out in Core Set 2021 that makes it to where you can select a specific card and it won't target you. So I've been thinking about what if you did that and you did Dreadhorde Invasion. Like, I don't know if that works, so I don't necessarily want to build a whole deck around it just to be disappointed, so to speak. Sorry, Leyline, you're just not the highest value card I have in hand. Damn. Damn. Hey, we probably should have waited for instant speed to do that. Especially given we have the Mythos and Nethril. That's just dumb, Chance. That's just dumb. That's right. Hopefully that'll help us get to a land this turn. Shadow Spear. I mean, we can both play and equip it, but I'm just gonna draw another card, look for a land. Okay. No land, all good. Motorvine Reclamation. Yeah, Mac, you have an obsession with that card. Halo, yes, yes, Halo. Ruined Halo? Ruined Halo? Is there an I in it or no? We can't quite do this yet. Oh, actually, we got rid of the fucking Leyline Prowler. I can't do that at all. Yeah, I can. Yes, I can. Mwahahahahaha. Here with your Underworld Dreams combo deck of shenanigans. Nice. Thanks. Oh, wait. I didn't actually say thanks. Ooh, Hooded Blightfang. We could go that plus Shadow Spear. What are the odds y'all think that they remove our Gem Razor here? I say we gotta go for the attack. It has Trample, doesn't it? Yeah. It has Reach, Trample, Deathtouch, and Lifelink. I just don't think I want the Hooded Blightfang down quite yet. You won't see it coming until it's too late. I do like all the voice dialogue for the Planeswalkers. I wish it doesn't have to be everyone. I know they're already doing animation. I wish they would do some voice dialogue for some of the creatures. I think that'd be pretty cool. Discard a card. Discard a card. How about that one? Are we getting down to Falmir Knight? Yes, yes, we're flooding the board. So we have the Hooded Blightfang, right? Oh. It's a sad, sad day when you gotta pay 3 mana for a burglar rat.
Favors you.
Oh man, you gotta hate it, opponent. You gotta hate it. GG. GG. Mortigal. Did I already tell them good game? I don't remember, so I'll have to say it again. Also, somebody asked me a question earlier. Didn't catch that. Oh, okay, that's bad. Didn't catch that message until I got back. Still not ideal, but opponent's playing Jessica Gates. I haven't seen this in a while. It is Gates. It's not Jessica though. 4 color from the looks of it.
Before I made pirates and I get along because we're both cut. Fighting here is more fun than
There you go, Vraska. So what does our opponent have access to? Because again, I haven't played against a Gates deck in forever. They got the Ram, they got the Colossus, they got Gates Ablaze. Oh, Gates Ablaze would hurt. I mean, yeah. Generally, if something would hurt, that's when your opponent has it, right? That's fine. We'll just rebuild the board. It's like nothing even happened. Surely you don't have two of them, right? Guild Summit. They're drawing some cards. Chevill. Good old Chevill. How does... Okay, leading no permanent... Okay, so we can do this. We can do this. I don't need the ram through. I don't need the Vraska. Yeah, this is fun. And again, opponent, please, por favor, don't just remove my stuff. That'd be great.
People call me a death dealer, but I rarely offer discounts.
Alright, no gates ablaze. Fingers crossed. Storm's Wrath. Same shit.
Flatter yourself.
Same shit, different name.
It seems fortune favors you.
It seems fortune favors you. I don't understand that. Considering we just blew up something of theirs. Well. Every time. I didn't realize what their name was. That's a good one though. Every time. Another guild summit. Cool beans. You drawing 2 cards with it? No, they're not drawing any cards. They're up to 5, which means their Gate Colossus only cost 2 per roast. This opponent's playing some of the kookiest shit I've seen in a hot minute. Call the Death Dwellers okay, right? We can get back a Leyline. What are they going for? You think they're playing a Yugen deck? You think they're one of those crazy players? Alright, every time. That certainly felt good. Stormwild Caprador. Interesting. Interesting. Makes sense with things like Gates Ablaze and all that. I guess we could use Castle Lockdwing there. Ah well. It's fine. There it is. There they are. Nice. Nice. Okay, well, that one was a bit pointless, but nice nonetheless.
Alrighty, you made it all the way through the matches. First and foremost, thank you so much for, supporting me through watching the video. It's absolutely free and hopefully gained you a little bit of knowledge about either how to play Deathtouch or how to play against it, right? Now, in this portion of the video, y'all know I like to do the deck tech wrap up where I come through and I suggest cards that may be more competitive or maybe more janky or whatever, just different options, different routes in case you don't have these cards or in case you're looking for a different feel to the deck, right? A different playstyle. Before we go and hop into the deck tech wrap up, however, though, I would like to remind you all, if you're enjoying the video, please be sure to leave a like down below as it does help support each and every video as well as the channel as a whole. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, well, you know where to leave them down in the comment section below. And if you're new here, consider subscribing. It's free. It's a great way to support the stream channel. Whatever. And if you're looking to catch us live, hop over to twitch.tv/DrSpelkin. And down in the description of every video, there's a link to Discord that I highly recommend you join up with. Now, on into the deck tech wrap up. What are we playing? What are the cards I suggest you, switch around, do some magic with? Now the Ebon Legion, it doesn't innately have Deathtouch on it, but you can pay 3, it gets +3/+3, and gains Deathtouch until end of turn, which is really nice. Furthermore, at the beginning of your end step, if a player lost 4 or more life this turn, you or your opponent put a +1/+1 counter on Knight of the Ebon Legion. Now the nice thing about this is proccing that 4 damage with Hooded Blightfang, not really that hard. Also, if you're swinging in with Knight of the Ebon Legion, most of the time you're going to be reserving that 3 mana for the +3/+3 and the Deathtouch, just in case anyways. And again, if you have a Vraska Swarm Eminence down and you plus up, then you can gain a counter there, which puts it up to a 2/3. And then off of its own ability, you can gain another counter, which puts it up to a 3/4, which is crazy for a 1 mana card, right? 1 mana 3/4 that could potentially become a 6/7. Yikes. Now, the downside to Knight of the Ebon Legion is it is going to be rotating, so if you're one of those people that's like, maybe not, because I'm not trying to, spend my wild cards on something I'm going to lose in a few months, or, lose to historic, not necessarily lose in general, then, maybe not. Moving us down, we have Unlikely Aid, which is kind of like a one-off heroic intervention. It gives target creature +2/+0 and gains indestructible until end of turn. The nice thing about this is it can make your Chevill into a 3/3, which smacks, actually deals some solid damage to your opponent. Furthermore, it gives you indestructible, so you're not losing your Deathtouch creatures, but they will be losing their creatures thanks to your Deathtouch. And it's only a common, so, if you don't want to go fork over those rares for heroic intervention, this is a great alternative route. Now, Tower Defense, this is like the other side of heroic intervention, right? So Unlikely Aid allows you to target 1 creature +2/+0, gains indestructible. It helps you keep them alive. Tower Defense is kind of the other side of heroic intervention in the fact that it allows you to hit all of your creatures, right? So 2 mana instant speed, creatures you control get +0/+5 and gain reach until end of turn. Now this procs really nicely in 2 manners. 1, it keeps your Deathtouch creatures alive when they're swinging into creatures that are simply bigger, right? Because it's going to be really hard to remove a 1/8 creature, or whatever else you may have. Furthermore, gaining reach means that you don't have to worry about those Flyers deck, which previously, as you can tell from the deck, you don't really have much interaction with. You have Mythos and Nethroid to take them out, but aside from that, maybe the Ram through. Again, you're sort of relying on these, and Gem Razor actually. We did pretty good against Flyers, huh? But if you're looking for a little bit more defense against Flyers, Tower Defense, it's there, it's beautiful, and again, it's a cheaper way to use heroic intervention, and they don't gain indestructible. It's not going to protect you against the board wipes, but against something like a Storm's Wrath, right? Gates Ablaze, which I've been seeing more recently than I thought I should. Anyways, Wilt is an excellent card, just in general, right? Opponents are often playing artifacts or enchantments that are, taking your creatures or making it impossible to play things. So 2 mana for an instant speed that allows you to do that, destroy target artifacts or enchantments, and can also be cycled is no joke. It's only a common, it's not rotating. It's very worthwhile, and if you don't have the heroic intervention and you're still looking for your deck to have a little bit of interaction with your opponent's deck and have an answer, I highly recommend Wilt. Moving us down, we have Demonic Embrace. So I said it earlier, one of the biggest downfalls of Deathtouch is how low of power these creatures have, right? Most of them only have 1 power, maybe 2. However, Demonic Embrace reads enchant creature enchanted creature gets +3/+1, has flying, and is a demon in addition to its other types, which, you know, doesn't really matter in this scenario, but it could in other decks, whatever. What we're really concerned about is the +3/+1 and has flying. Right? You throw this on your Hooded Blightfang, it's going from a 1/4 up to a 4/5 and has flying, and now it can swing in all on its own, as well as allowing, you know, your smaller bodies to swing in and deal that damage and yada yada yada. The nice thing about Demonic Embrace is whenever you lose that creature and it goes to the graveyard, sure, you can bring the creature back with Call the Death Dweller, but one of the main problems with the auras is once the creature's removed, generally the aura was removed as well. However, with Demonic Embrace, you can cast it from your graveyard by paying 3 life and discarding a card in addition to paying its other costs, so the 3 mana, right? However, you don't really mind discarding the card because, again, you have Call the Death Dweller, which allows you to get your creatures back. So Demonic Embrace, I would highly recommend it. It isn't going to be rotating out, so it's a safe bet to go ahead and pick up some. And people are playing in the mono black aggro deck, so it also works well in a competitive sense. So all in all, it's a very, very solid card. Next up, we have Embodiment of Agonies. This is a card that will be rotating. However, it's been one of my favorite cards to play every time that I can play it, right? So Embodiment of Agonies enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it for each different mana cost among non-land cards in your graveyard. And it gives you a little example there. So it's showing you that just because 2 things cost 3 mana, because they cost 3 mana differently, they each would count for a +1/+1 counter. So if you look over here into our 2 drops, right? Chevill, you know, 1 swamp, 1 green, and ran through, those are 2 different casting costs, right? 1 colorless, 1 green, and 1 black and 1 green are different. Same thing down here, Vampire of the Dire Moon, 1 solid black, Shadow Spear, 1 colorless. Up here you have Leyline Prowler and you have the mono. You see what I'm saying? You know, all your 4 drops are different, which is kind of nice. So Embodiment has the ability to get really big. It already has flying. Deathtouch is nice because of the Hooded Blightfang and the whole Deathtouch Tribal thing, right? And it's only 3 mana. So, yeah, it's really, really cool. Really good. If you're not looking to fork over for a card that's going to be rotating and you want a good 3-drop besides Leyline Prowler, because you're like, Chance, come on, why are you playing the Leyline Prowler if it's not going to be ramping it into anything? Grim Dancer is almost a straight upgrade. Now, it doesn't allow you to gain the mana. However, you can put Deathtouch and Lifelink on your creature, and instead of having a 2/3 Deathtouch Lifelinker, you have a 3/3 Deathtouch Lifelinker, so it's just 1 more power. However, the other nice thing is you can give this card Menace as well, so you can give it Menace Deathtouch and take out 2 of your opponent's creatures when they go to defend it. So, it's very awesome, and it's only an uncommon, and it's not rotating, so that's kind of where the recommendation for this comes, right? Cultivate, if you like the Leyline Prowler, you like ramping up, Cultivate is a great option to ramp you, and that's pretty much it. You know, this deck right here that we're playing doesn't ramp a whole lot, but I'd feel a bit remiss not mentioning Cultivate. It's such an awesome card. Lead the Stampede. We're playing a whole lot of creatures. If you want to slim it up and play more creatures, you know, I think that only makes Lead the Stampede even better. 3 mana, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal any number of creature cards from among them and put the revealed cards into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of the library in any random order. Oh, in any order, not random. Whatever. The nice thing about this, you could essentially draw 5 cards. You could draw 4 cards for 3 mana, which is like really, really good value, right? So, Lead the Stampede, it's just one of those things that, you know, this Golgari deck doesn't have the best draw engine. You know, you have Chevill, you sort of have Vraska if you're willing to sacrifice something, but aside from that, you're bringing things back from the graveyard. I mean, you have Foul Mirror Knight, but again, you're paying 3 mana to draw 1 card, which isn't exactly the best as far as efficiency, right? Lead the Stampede, it can restock you, right? You can go down from having 2 cards in hand all the way back up to 6 if you hit her just right, which is insane, to say the least. Not to mention you're going to be then able to play those Deathtouch creatures down and sort of overwhelm your opponents just from sheer number alone. Next up, we have one of my favorite cards from Ikoria. It's an uncommon, Insatiable Hemiphage. It's a 4 mana 3/3 creature with Mutate and Deathtouch, and it reads, whenever this creature mutates, each opponent loses X life and you gain X life, where X is the number of times this creature has mutated. Now obviously we have the Gem Razor in the deck, so adding more Mutate kind of just plays better with the Gem Razor. Furthermore, this card has Deathtouch, and I mentioned it earlier, big Deathtouchers, they're a little hard to come by, so if you can get a bigger Deathtoucher down that deals more damage and also gains you life and has a potential of re-proccing Gem Razor's destruction of artifacts or enchantments, you know, sign me the fuck up. I would play Insatiable Hemiphage in those decks where you can't afford Questing Beast, or in those decks where you're like, you know what, I don't care about the theme of the deck. Take out Vraska, Golgari, Queen, take out Questing Beast because I don't have it, you know. Throw in 4 copies of Insatiable Hemiphage. I think it'll do you very, very well in this deck. Anyways, all that being said and out of the way, I appreciate y'all showing support so much, watching all the way through the video, enjoying it, leaving those likes, comments, all that great stuff. Hope you're all having a great night, great day, great afternoon, whatever time it may be, wherever you are. As always, I'll see you later tonight or tomorrow. Peace.